Shabbat Shalom Yasharala. Con. Bashomash Gawasha. I praise the Most High Bashomash Gawasha. That's right. We are TheeLoz of Zion, located where? South Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, 2937 West Broadway Boulevard. I am El Lapala, and to my left.
This is Captain Zamar.
God. All right. Our praise to the Most High Bashomash Gawasha for another holy day. We come together in our holy convocation as per the covenant that the Most High made of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. So whatever our people logging on the internet, YouTube live stream, wherever, Bible, whatever source. Let's go to Colossians 3, verse 17.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the power and the Abba by him.
Right, whatever you do in the word or deed, make sure it's in accordance to the scriptures, to the Most High's word, and the testimony of the Mashiach Yahushai, according to the laws, statutes, and commandments. Right. For the past few weeks, we've been going to the book of 1 Samuel. Last week we took a break and went over the scriptures pertaining to Easter. But today we're going to resume in the book of Samuel and continue from chapter 24. We got more, we have another 7 chapters to go to finish the book of Samuel. Book of 1 Samuel. Okay.
Chapter 24, verse 1.
Yeah. 1 Samuel, chapter 24.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 24 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of Engedi.
Right. So let me see what it means. It came to pass when Saul was returned from following the Philistines. Let me go to the previous chapter, verse 28.
What is it?
I read it myself.
Okay.
Wherefore Saul returned from pursuing after David and went against the Philistines. Therefore they called that place. Okay, so there was a war going on between this war has been going on for a long time between the Israelites and the Philistines. We know the history of David slaying the Goliath, which was the prime warrior of the Philistines. And we know that David was anointed by the Most High to replace Saul as king of Israel. And Saul now was very opposed to that. And David had to be running all over the place because Saul was in pursuit of David, to slay David, because Saul didn't want David to succeed him. He wanted to pass on his kingship to his son, Jonathan. And David had to play all kind of roles as fighting for Israel and also fighting with the Philistines that Israel was fighting against. Read verse 1 again, chapter 24.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 24 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of Engedi.
Right, so Saul returned from following the Philistines, you know what? From pursuing the Philistines, because Israel was at war with the Philistines. And Saul being the king of Israel, was at the forefront of this war. And they told Saul that what? David, behold, Saul, David is in the wilderness of En-Gedi. Read on.
Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats. And he came to the sheepcotes by the way where was a cave. And Saul went in to cover his feet, and David and his men remained in the sides of the cave.
Hold a second, let me I want to make sure I'm in the right chapter. As far as where we left off the last time, because hold on a second. Because I remember the last time Saul had died, right? I remember the last. Hold on.
Well, I have 24.
You know, sometimes, huh?
I have 24
24? Okay, all right. Because sometimes the chapters don't continue successively. Yeah, okay. All right, so read on verse 2 again. Then Saul took 3,000 men.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 24, and verse 2. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats.
Right, so Saul now, he heard that David was in the wilderness of En-Gedi, so Saul took 3,000 chosen men. Chosen, what does chosen mean? Top warriors. Not just riff-raff soldiers or recently recruit guys. These are chosen warriors, tried and true chosen warriors to pursue after David. Read on.
And he came to the sheepcotes by the way, where was a cave. And Saul went in to cover his feet. And David, his men, remained in the sides of the cave.
And Saul went in to cover his feet. What does that mean? To cover his feet. He went to sleep. I mean, he been warring all day, pursuing after David all day. So he was tired right now. So he went into the cave to cover his feet. Read on.
Verse 4. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which the Most High said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thine hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privily.
Right, so David men told him, Saul is sleeping. So the Most High have delivered Saul into your hand. So now it's your time to rise up, to take the throne, to kill Saul, and you're going to be on the new king of Israel. Then David went up and cut up a part of Saul's garment. Read on.
Verse 5. And it came to pass afterwards that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his men, The Most High forbid.
What does it mean came to pass after what? That David's heart smote him. Yeah, he came and said, yeah, what have I done? This is the Most High's anointed. I'm in violation. Why did I do that? I mean, that's the kind of spirit that David had in him. Saul is pursuing David to kill him, but he know that the Most High put Saul in that position. And while Saul was in that position, as far as David is concerned, it's a violation for him to do any harm to Saul. So he's very regretful of that. He didn't even kill Saul. He just cut off part of his garment. That's the kind of mindset that David had. Read on.
Verse 5. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto his men, The Most High forbid that I should do this thing unto my master. The Most High is anointed to stretch forth mine hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Most High.
Right, read on.
So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul.
Right, and David stayed his servants with his words. What do you mean, stayed his servants with his words? You have to be careful of the words. You have to understand these words. Stayed his servant with those words. What does it mean? Right. Yeah, stop them because those men are, just get him. That's Saul trying to kill you, David. Just kill him and you're going to be king because those men also want a position. You know what I'm saying? They are their own motive. If David became king, they can be, they themselves going to be prominent men in Israel. But David said, no. David held them back. So he stayed them. Yeah, I'm saying, be quiet now. Let's cool down. Yeah, read on.
Verse 7. So David stayed his servants with these words and suffered them not to rise against Saul.
And suffer them and allow them not to rise against Saul. Read on.
But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his own way. Mm-hmm. David also arose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, My Lord, the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, Wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, Behold, David seeketh thy hurt?
Right, so David asked Saul, why you listen to these people? Saying I'm trying to kill you. If I want to kill you, I would have killed you a long time ago. Read on.
Verse 10. Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how that the Most High have delivered thee today into mine hand in the cave. And some bade me kill thee, but mine eyes spared thee.
Hold on. For some reason I'm thinking are we sure we're in the right chapter? We are so repetitive. You know what I'm saying? Like I read this before. But sometimes it's like that though. It's not as always in sequence. Sometimes they're repetitive, retroactive. You know what I mean? I read on.
Verse 10. Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how that the Most High have delivered thee today into mine hand in the cave. And some bade me kill thee, but mine eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is the Most High's anointed. Moreover, my father, see the skirt of thy robe in my hand. For in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe, and kill thee not. Know thou, and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in mine hand. And I have not sinned against thee, yet thou huntest my soul to take it. The Most High judge between me and thee, and the Most High avenge me of thee. But mine hand shall not be upon thee.
Right, so David had showed Saul, the Most High delivered you into my hand. I could have killed you if I wanted to. Because the Most High anointed you to be king of Israel, I will not violate the Most High by committing any atrocity against you. Read on.
Verse 13. As saith the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceedeth from the wicked, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog? After a flea? The Most High therefore be judge, and judge between me and thee, and see, and plead my cause, and deliver me out of thine hand. And it came to pass when David had made an end of speaking these words unto Saul.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Come on.
Yeah, read this before. Yeah, read this before. Yeah, read this before. Yeah, I read this before. Yeah. Let me see exactly where we're at. You read this before. Yeah, in the war, yeah. Yeah, we read that before. Try to figure out exactly where we were. I thought I'm on the marker here. I must have misplaced my marker. Oh, Hmm?
Only the second book?
No, it's in the first book of Saul. Yeah, in the first book of Saul. We also read that with Samuel that died too, right? Yeah, Samuel that died. Mm-hmm. With the country that went to woman to that ceased here. Yeah. That's the end of it. Further one. Okay, you know what?
Yeah, that's when Saul was chasing him. That when the Philistines ran, you remember he was chasing him so much that the Philistines came chasing him.
Right.
That's where we were.
Yeah, I had to retreat back
We
down.
were showing it on the map.
Yeah. Yeah. In the meantime, can I get some map up there? Yeah. Mm. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Let's jump to 29, 30, and 30. Let's jump to 20. Go to 28, because I'm going to finish the first book today. Then we can move on. Maybe I may be repeating certain chapters or verses, whatever. Chapter 28. 1 Samuel chapter 28.
21.
Huh?
21, beginning.
28, verse 1.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said unto David, Know thou assuredly that thou shalt go out with me to battle, thou and thy men.
It's so familiar. I read that. Yeah. Did we finish first Samuel? I'm wondering if we did.
I missed the last Friday.
Yeah, you missed
I
it.
believe we did.
Did we finish it? I didn't.
The last one a week ago says 1 Samuel 19.
No. Yeah, way back. 1901. That was way back. Anyway, let's go back 28 again. We're gonna finish the first book of Samuel tonight. Go on, read on now.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 28 and verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said unto David, Know thou assuredly that thou shalt go out with me to battle, thou and thy men. And David said to Achish, Surely thou shalt know what thy servant can do. And Achish said to David, Therefore will I make thee keeper of mine head forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together, and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled.
Right. So there was a war going on. As far as David was concerned, he was fighting two fronts. He was fighting against Saul, who was fighting against the Philistines, and David was fighting with the Philistines, supposedly against Israel. So David was in a very a predicament right there. How is he going to play this off? Someone that died was David's his mentor, advisor, and all that. Intercession with the Most High. So David now was running from Saul. He ran to the Philistines, which is Israel's army, pretending to be a mercenary for hire to the Philistines. But when David realized, yo, you have to go back to the fight against your own people. That put David in a tough spot. He was saying, how am I going to pay this off? I love my people Israel. But the king of Israel is trying to kill me. So which means I have to find refuge in the enemy of my country, which don't want me to fight against my country that I love. So how am I going to do this? That's the predicament that David is in. Read on.
Verse 6. And when Saul inquired of the Most High answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit,
right,
that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servants said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor.
Right, so Saul didn't know what to do. So Saul, the Most High was totally against Saul right now. The Most High withdrew himself from Saul. So when Saul inquired of the Most High didn't respond to him. So Saul now said, yo, you know what? Give me a soothsayer, a voodoo person, a man, whatever. You know what I mean? Okay, because we know that now these other workers, these voodoo workers, they have certain spirits in them. They have certain spirits on the left hand side. You know what I'm saying? They can do certain things. They have certain powers, but not the kind of righteousness. So Saul was seeking now for that one of the persons. The very same Saul was now being a very hypocritical person, because he was the one, by the advice of Samuel, to put away those very same soothsayers that he's now seeking after, to give him advice as to what course of action he should take in this war against the Philistines. So Saul asked for this voodoo person, and they got a woman, this voodoo woman that was going to be advisor to Saul. Read on.
Verse 8. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said,
right. So Saul said, Saul disguised himself. He didn't want it to be known that he's King Saul. So everybody knew King Saul. So he disguised himself as a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? To throw off this voodoo woman. So he's sort of bring up this person whom I'm gonna name to you. So he didn't say, okay, all right, so I can do that. Okay, he didn't reveal the name of the person he wanted to interact with yet. First he found out, can you bring this person to me? Yeah. Okay, read on.
Verse 9. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done.
And the woman said to him, behold, you know what Saul had done. When like Saul was like, because obviously she had no idea this was actually Saul she was talking to. Read on.
How he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Right. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die?
Right. You know what Saul did, right? Saul cut off all the wizards, the soothsayers, the other workers, the voodoo workers. I'm using those present day terminologies, because back in the days, you know what I'm saying? Because whatever terms he using right now, same, they perform the same deeds back in the days. So you put me in jeopardy right now. Read on.
Verse 10. And Saul sware to her by the Most High, saying, as the Most High liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing.
So Saul assured her that, believe me, no harm is going to come to you on account of what I'm doing to you, what I'm requesting of you. Read on.
Verse 11. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, Bring me up Samuel.
Then the woman asked him, what do you want me to conjure up to you? Saul said, bring me up Samuel. Can you imagine looking at a woman's face? Samuel? Read on.
Verse 12. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul.
Right.
And the king said unto
Right,
her,
right.
Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth.
Right. So, when the woman brought up Saul, maybe she brought up Samuel, then she realized that, yeah, this is Saul asking for Samuel. I don't know if she made a connection. Then Saul, what do you see? I see gods descending out of the earth. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for thou sayest, for what sayest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw, what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. She saw like gods, like very powerful people. Men of renown, leadership, men of eloquence, coming out of the earth. That's what he saw. Read on.
Verse 14. And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she
what
said,
form is he of? Read on.
And he said,
What
and
it look
she
like?
said,
What it look like? Read on.
And she said, An old man cometh up,
Right.
and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself.
Right, because Saul wanted to be sure who this person was, but based on the description that she gave him, he knew that, oh, this got to be Samuel. You know what I mean? Because the mantle and all that, and the age and all that, this got to be Samuel that was coming up. Read on.
Verse 15. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed.
So someone was like, what are you doing? I was supposed to be an R.I.P. Rest in peace. Why are you disturbing me? You know, I mean, what are you doing, Saul? Read on.
For the Philistines make war against me, and the Most High has departed from me.
Saul said, yeah, I'm sorry for disturbing your peace, but the Philistines are going to war against me. The Most High is not with me anymore. I need your help. Please understand that the predicament that I'm in right now. Read on.
And answers me no more, neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore,
so the Most High, not by prophets, because you were the prophet. You don't hear no more. Not by dreams, the Most High that answer my prayers. Read on.
Therefore, I have called thee.
I have no choice but to call you Samuel. I'm sorry, but hey, you're my last resort. Read on.
That thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do.
So I need even death. That's how powerful Samuel was. Even death, men alive, had to seek his guidance, his counsel. Read on.
Then said Samuel, Wherefore then dost thou ask of me, seeing the Most High has departed from thee, and is become thine enemy?
So Samuel said, I don't get it. I don't get it, Saul. The Most High is king. He has power on the power. If he departs from you, then that's it. Why you calling to me if the Most High departed from you? I can't help you. I can't do anything for you that the Most High doesn't want to be done for you. Read.
Verse 17. And the Most High hath done to him, and he spake by me. For the Most High hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David.
Right. So Samuel reiterated to Saul that, hey, I can't help you. It's done. The Most High is not with you anymore. The kingdom has been departed from you. It's now being reassigned to David. And the sooner you accept that, the better for you. Read on.
Verse 18. Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Most High.
You didn't obey the voice of the Most High. How did Saul not obey the voice of the Most High? Can you recall? Can you recall? Yeah.
When he didn't kill the king of Amalek, right?
Yeah, that's part, yeah. What is? What is?
He didn't wait for Samuel to burn the sacrifice.
You know what?
He didn't wait for Samuel to burn the sacrifice.
Samuel's birth sacrifice?
No, I said he didn't wait for Samuel when he burned the sacrifice before he came to go before the army.
He didn't wait for Samuel.
Yeah, he didn't wait for Samuel.
He didn't wait for Samuel. When? He didn't.
When he burned the sacrifice. When Saul burned the sacrifice.
Uh-huh.
He was supposed to wait for Samuel.
Okay. Okay, so he put himself in the place of a Levite.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very important also. But also important was him not obeying the Moses' commandments to slay the Amalekites. Every one of them. Men, women, and children. The beasts of the fields and all that. Including the kings. Read on.
Nor executeth his fierce wrath upon Amalek.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore hath the Most High.
Why was the Moses so angry with Amalek?
Because when we left Egypt, they were the ones that attacked us from behind. When we left Egypt, so really much these guys, they did something that was
A family, yeah.
the most that they were killing children and
Right.
and old people. So by doing
That was what Amalek did was very hateful, because we were in a position where we were destitute. We needed help badly, and we were asking for handouts. You were willing to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? We were willing to pay for it. We said, let us pass through your land. We'll pay for it. But Esau and Amalek said, hell no. And while we were starving, devastated, in hunger and thirst, Amalek kept it from behind and slaughtered our people, man. You know what I mean? I mean, that was the Moses said that you can't forget this. But Saul evidently forgot that. So that's how you know what I mean? He was like he was in tune with the mindset of the Most High and the best interest of his people. So Moses said about, yo, you gotta go. Read on.
Verse 18. Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Most High, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek, therefore hath the Most High done this thing unto thee this day.
Right.
Moreover, the Most High will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Most High also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul fell straightway all along on the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel. And there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all the day, nor all the night.
Right. Then Saul fell straightway all along the earth. What does that mean? He fainted. Fell straightway. Fainted straightway and stretched out all along the earth, and was sore afraid and trembling because you know, yeah. Can you imagine that? You've been the king of Israel, the most prominent and powerful position on earth, and you're about to lose that because the most powerful power on the old earth deemed that you should lose that. He fainted. He was wondering what's going to become of me. Read on.
Verse 21. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, thine handmaid hath obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto the words which thou spakest unto me.
Right, so the woman said, yeah, I put myself in jeopardy with the Most High, and even with your kingdom. You know what I'm saying? But I did what you asked me to do. Read on.
Verse 22. Now therefore, I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thine handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, that thou mayest have strength when thou goest on thy way.
But I'm gonna give you something to eat. I'm gonna fix your plate. Don't be proud. You know what I mean? Eat something because you're fainted, you're stretched out all over the earth. You know what I mean? You need to replenish your strength. So I'm gonna fix your plate. I have something to eat. Go ahead, son. Read on.
Verse 23. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But his servants together with the woman compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth and sat upon the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hastened and killed it and took flour and kneaded it.
Right. So Saul didn't want to eat, but he insisted on and the woman decided, I'm gonna fix something to eat. And the woman had a fat calf in the house. But a fat calf, the cow. And she hates it and killed it. And took flour and kneaded it. And did bake unleavened bread thereof. That was fast. How long would it take to get a cow? I mean, if a Passover we kick up a few lambs. How long did it take Akim or the brothers who went to the slaying of the lamb for Passover?
All day.
No, the actual slaying, not the waiting, but the actual slaying of the lamb, killing it. Now, count the actual time. The actual time, the slaying of the lamb, the cleaning it up, dressing it with a seasoning it, and plus cooking it. Minus all the times in between.
I was part of the grilling team for the lamb.
Uh-huh.
It took us 8 hours just to cook the lamb alone. Cook all that lamb. It took us 8 hours.
I don't know. That's a great. Maybe back in the days, once they killed it, skinned it, run a long stick with through it, put it in the fire. In a couple of hours, it was ready. It made it so fast. You know what I'm saying? Same thing when it was with Abraham. When us maybe let me fix something to eat. Yeah. So maybe they just killed it, cleaned it up, seasoned it, put it in the fire. You know what I mean? Maybe we learn to learn. We need to learn from them to see how we can speed this thing up. we need to search up the way of our fathers to see how they did things back in the days. Because it made me, it sounds so fast. You know what I'm saying? I know it took some time, but you know what I'm saying? Kill that lamb. Because when I first went to lamb killing, it's very strategic. You just gotta cut it in certain ways. Just like a chicken. When you kill a chicken, to skin a chicken, cut out the skin of the chicken, you gotta cut it in certain ways. Get the skin off, get the fat off. You know what I'm saying? It's very, you have to be very professional. I read it now.
And did bake unleavened bread thereof. Verse 25.
Right.
And she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they rose up and went away that night. 1 Samuel chapter 29 and verse 1.
Right. So Saul had something to eat from the lamb that the woman cooked for him. Then it was and then he regained his strength. Read on. Verse 29. We have 29, 30. We have 3 more chapters. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up tonight.
Verse 29.
1 Samuel. Read on.
Now the Philistines gathered together all their armies to effect, and the Israelites pitched by a fountain which is in Jezreel. And the lords of the Philistine passed one by hundreds and by thousands. By David and his men passed on in the reward with Achish.
Reward.
Reward.
In the rear, yeah.
Verse 3. Then said the princes of the Philistines, what do these Hebrews here? And Achish said unto the princes of the Philistines.
I think we had finished his book last week. I think you finished first Samuel last week.
Good review.
Yeah, but it's a good review though. Yeah. So right now, now the war was heating up. The war was heating up between Israel and the Philistines. But David was now not with Israel, fighting with Saul, but it was actually running from Saul. I was actually in the land of the Philistines. Read on now.
Is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel?
Yeah, because David was a prominent man. This guy was he killed Saul, the most famous warrior. He killed Goliath, the most famous warrior. So all of the Philistines knew David. What it looked like, what it sounded like. So they were saying, is not this David? Read it again. Read the verse again. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Then said the princes of the Philistines, what do these Hebrews hear? And Achish said unto them,
why are these Hebrews here? We're fighting against them. Why are they here in our country? Read on.
And Achish said unto the princes of the Philistines, is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel, which hath been with me these days, or these years, and I have found no fault in him since he fell unto me unto this day.
Right, so Achish said he said, David, I know he's a servant of Saul, but he's been for the past few years, he's been with me. I have no problem with him. He's been loyal to me. So don't worry about it. You got some issue with his King Saul in his country. So he's but for the past few years, whatever, few months, whatever, he's been a loyal servant of mine. He's been loyal to me, so don't worry about him. It's not a problem. Read on.
Verse 4. And the princes of the Philistines were wroth with him. And the princes of the Philistines said unto him, make this fellow return, that he may go again to his place which thou hast appointed him, and let him not go down with us to battle. For wherewith should he reconcile himself unto his master? Should it not be with the heads of these men?
Right. So, but the princes of the Philistines said, nah, that's a problem. Let this man go back to the base or whatever. But he can't roll with us because it's going to be a problem if this guy comes to war with us. How is he going to the best way for him to reconcile himself with Saul and his people is to do what? To slaughter us, to be an adversary against us. Understand? Just like back in the days with Pharaoh. What the Pharaoh said against about Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's why they were so suspicious about us in Israel, in Egypt. They were saying, hey, that's why right now America so against our people. They are afraid that we just like a few months ago, China is back in the days, like decades ago, 10, 20 years ago, Russia, the former Soviet Union, used to be the main adversary of America. But America, through their politics and economics and money and all that, was able to break up the Soviet Union. Because right now, Russia used to be the main country of the former Soviet Union. The Soviet Union used to consider many countries. Just like America considers many states, the United States of America, the former Soviet Union used to be USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, consider many countries, including Russia. You know what I'm saying? But America was able to break it up into different countries, and America was very successful in getting some of these countries to be opposed to each other to this day. So Russia as it is right now is a main adversary of what's left of the former Soviet Union. But back in the days, the USSR, I know these young generation probably don't know about that. Back in the days, we used to have what they call the Cold War. The Cold War, which was after after World War, back in the late 70s, the 80s, coming up, when the time of you hear about Ronald Reagan. You know what I'm saying? Those are what you know what I'm saying. That the Cold War, a lot of cold meaning what? It wasn't heated. There was a lot of rhetoric going on, a lot of threats, a lot of ammunition and war hits pointed at each country. We got to throw bombs and you know what I'm saying, and all that. That big talk going on, you know what I'm saying? But there wasn't any actual war going on. But right now there's another Cold War going on. Not so much with Russia's kind of weakened, even though it's very powerful. And the scriptures tell you, if you read the book of Ezekiel 38 and 39, Russia is going to be a very powerful enemy, adversary of America. But right now, as it is, it looks like it's, even maybe just economically, it's China. Understand? And America, and China, they're flexing the muscles. Not necessarily military wise, but as what economic. They're doing what America, they're doing today what the Europeans, including America, did back in the days. Like China's been like the modern day colonialists. You know what I'm saying? They're going to Africa, the Caribbeans, all these third world countries who look impoverished, that they could exploit and all that. So even back a few months ago, the Secretary of State, I think it was Pompeo? I forgot. Pompeo, right? Yeah, Pompeo, yeah. He used to go all of the countries wherever the Chinese were trying to exert the influence. He used to go there, and try to reassure the country, to talk to the Chinese and the badmouth the Chinese, and don't let the Chinese come in there and try to bribe you with you know what I'm saying, all that, because it's a jealousy. Because they see the Chinese are doing what America was previously doing, but now it's like But this country now, they're in the same position as they were before. But now they have like, who do I choose as my main enemy? The Chinese or the Europeans or the Americans? So that's what's going on. So the Chinese, they were in Jamaica, even all over the place. The Americans all over the place said, be very careful of the Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Because they were afraid that these third world countries was not going to align themselves with the Chinese. These third world countries that used to be aligned with America. They were afraid that the Chinese was going to take them away from America. You know what I'm saying? Just like even back in the days, with the same thing with like Jamaica and Cuba. Cuba, what a so-called communist country, and it was an alliance with Russia. And Jamaica, like in the late 70s, was very close to Cuba. Very close to Cuba. I'm very close, and America was so afraid because this Caribbean region is very strategic to America, very strategic region. Because if Russia can get allies or China can get allies with in the Caribbean, so close to America, that's very, you know what I'm saying, very threatening to America. So America will go out of their way to make sure that, hey, don't let the Russians come in. That's what they did in the 80s. Don't let the Chinese come in. You know what I'm saying? So that's what so they're very concerned about our people trying to align ourselves with enemies to their country. So that's what's going on. So back in the 80s. That's why you know what I mean. So in the war, the tension was so high in Caribbean, because back in the Jamaica, anybody follow Jamaican politics in the 80s, yo, they went all out. America, they infiltrated Jamaica, man, you know. Because they went so far, because Jamaica was leaning so hard towards communism. That was a perception. Whether it was real or not, I don't know. That was a perception that America said, we can't allow this. We have Cuba to worry about. Now Jamaica, we can't allow this. So they pump a lot of guns and money in the Jamaicans. They put the warfare was you're slaughtering people all over the place, man. Opposition, you know what I'm saying? So that was what's going on. So you have the that's not anything new. People are always concerned about certain faction or certain demographic of the population may want to align themselves with an external force that's going to be in opposition to the establishment, to the established country. So they were very threatening about that. That's why back in the days, that's why a fear of clampdown on us so hard, because they knew that because the Egyptians back in the days, they had many wars. They had wars with other countries, the Kushites and other countries. So they were concerned that we had large. They were concerned that if they didn't treat us right, we might align ourselves with those countries and try to overthrow them. That's why the scripture says what? They dealt with us wisely. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on right now. They're empowering us right in America and the Caribbean, wherever we are, Africa, wherever we are. They didn't know us wisely, so we can't be an ally to any sovereignty or nation that's opposed to America. So anywhere they see that the Chinese or the Russians trying to exert any kind of influence amongst our people, you see America run there to don't talk them. Okay, we're gonna give you this. We're gonna threaten you if you do this. Then we get cut off this from you. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. Yeah. Continue. Where are you? Where you at?
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 29 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Is not this David, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Saul slew his thousands, and David his 10,000s.
Right. So, is not this David, men of renown, who got so much props for slaying 10,000 of the Philistines? Read on.
Verse 6. Then Achish called David and said unto him, Surely, as the Most High liveth, thou hast been upright, and thy going out and thy coming in with me in the host is good in my sight. For I have not found evil in thee since the day of thy coming unto me unto this day. Nevertheless, the Most High's favor thee not.
Right, so King Achish said, Yo, David, you're good with me. But my princes are the problem with you because, of your history. So, I'm going to have to send you back. You can't roll with us. Because they're concerned about you, and your loyalty. Read on.
Verse 7. Wherefore now return and go in peace, that thou displease not the lords of the Philistines. And David said unto Achish, but what have I done? And what hast thou...
But really, no, David didn't mind. Because David didn't really want to fight against his own people, the Israelites. But, it's just the same David who feigned down, front of the mouth and all that, acting like he was mad and all that. Remember the last time? You know what I mean? Funny, David, acting like he's drunk, I'm sad. Front of the mouth, acting like he was mad. I said, it's a madman you're bringing it to me. What are you doing? You can't come at us. So David wasn't disappointed. Maybe he knew that's what they're going to say in a way. But he was pretending like he was upset. But what did I do? Yeah, right, David. You didn't want to go anywhere. That's your own people. You love your country. So you're acting like you were disappointed that they didn't want you to go. What did I do? I read on.
Verse 8. And David said unto Achish, but what have I done? And what hast thou found in thy servant, so long as I have been with thee unto this day?
All this time I've been with you. What fault have you found with me that you don't want me to roll with you? Read on.
That I may not go fight against the enemies of my lord the king.
Yeah, you're right. The enemies of my lord the king. And who are those enemies? Israel. So you're saying that the enemy is now your own people? You're right. Go on.
Verse 9. And Achish answered and said to David, I know that thou art good in my sight, as an angel of the Most High. Notwithstanding, the princes of the Philistines have said, he shall not go up with us to the battle. Wherefore now rise up early in the morning with thy master's servant that are come with thee. And as soon as ye be up early in the morning and have had light, depart. So David and his men rose up early to depart in the morning to return into the land of the Philistines. And the Philistines went up to Jezreel.
Right, see that? So David and his men returned where? Not to Israel. So at this point, David was more or less neutral. He went back to the Philistines. He was not going to partake in the war with the Philistines against Israel, or with Israel against the Philistines, but was going to remain in the land of the Philistines because he couldn't go back to Israel because Saul was in hot pursuit of him. So his only safe place of refuge was where? In the land of the Philistines. Read on.
This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 30 and verse 1. And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south, and Ziklag and smitten Ziklag, and burdened it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept, until they had no more power to weep. And David's two wives were taken captives, Ahinoam and Jezreelitess, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed. For the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Most High his power. And David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David. And David inquired at the Most High, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. But David pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor.
Right. So David was attacked by at Ziklag, and his 2 wives were taken, and the wives and children of his men were taken, and so on. So the men was they were all in distress, and they inquired of Moses, what should I do? Because his own people were trying to so wroth with David that we even contemplated and stoning him and putting him to death. But Moses told him, pursue after those the men of Ziklag, and I assure you, you will recover everything that they took from you. Read on.
Verse 11. And they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat. And they made him drink water. And they gave him a piece of a cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him. For he had eaten no bread, nor drunk any water, 3 days and 3 nights. And David said unto him, To whom belongest thou? And whence art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to an Amalekite. And my master left me because 3 days agone I fell sick.
Right, so they met an Egyptian who was a servant of Amalekites who had eaten for a long time. Eaten for 3 days and 3 nights. Read on.
Verse 14. We made an invasion upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the coast which belongeth to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb. And we burned Ziklag with fire. And David said to him, Canst thou bring me down to this company? And he said, Swear unto me by the Most High that thou wilt neither kill me nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company.
Right. So this man was an Egyptian, but he was a servant of the Amalekites who mistreated him. But now he was willing for a morsel of bread, willing to to give advice to David and his men, where the Amalekites were. Read on.
Verse 16. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. And David smote them from the twilight even until the evening.
Right. So
of
this
the next day.
this man had made a lot of raids. They took food, they took spoils from the Philistines and from Judah. So this men like mercenaries or just warriors going about just making raids in different territories. That's how they live. They didn't necessarily align themselves or were loyal to any sovereignty. They were like bands of warriors who operate independently. You know what I'm saying? That just do their own thing. That's making raids in the country, even their own country. That's how they live. You know, that's how it was back in the days, in certain territories. You know.
Verse 17. And David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men which rode upon camels and fled. And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away. And David rescued his 2 wives. And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all.
Right, so that's how you know that Amalekites, that's where the Amalekites live. Historically, you know what I'm saying? That they just like they were even to this day, Amalekite, the so-called Jews, they have no real loyalty to any sovereignty per se. Their own loyalty is to themselves as a nationality. So that's why the loyalty that's why they have so-called Jews in various countries. Understand? And the loyalty is not necessarily like Amalekites, so-called Jews in America. The loyalty is not necessarily to America. The so-called Jews the loyalty is not in England. The loyalty is not necessarily to the land, even the birth country that they're from. The loyalty to the ethnic group, the ethnicity, the race that they're from. You know what I'm saying? The land, the Lord is not to the land. The Lord to the heritage and people that they're from. Understand? So that's it. That's why when any kind of chaos goes on, that's why historically you will see them sponsoring both sides of the war. That's why any kind of insight going on, they're usually behind it. Because they profit from it. And they have England fighting against America, but they don't care about that as long as it's not affecting them, particularly as a race, as an ethnic group. Their loyalty is not to any particular country. That's why you see Amalek. They're all over the world. Just about in every country you can think of. But they're not loyalty necessarily to any of those respective countries. Their loyalty is to who? Themselves as a racial or ethnic group. As a people. Understand? And that's something that's why we are. That's why as Israelites we would say. What's your nationality? Your nationality is not based on where you were born. Your nationality is based on what? Where you're from. The lineage, ethnic group, bloodline, family tree that you're from. Understand that? That's what our people fail to realize. That's why we are always behind. Because we're always trying to integrate with all these different countries. When what we should be doing is integrating our aligning ourselves with our people based on our lineage and ethnic group that we're from. But because our people are so destroyed for what? Lack of knowledge, not knowing the true heritage, because we're so discontinued from our heritage, because of our disobedience to the Most High, that's why we're in the predicament we're in right now. We are the only people probably who are in the predicament for the most part. Look at them, even the so-called Chinese. I mean, some of them come to America, they may get enticed and with American ways, but for the most part, that's why the so-called Chinese, they send people to the Caribbean, people to South America, to Africa, and they are all in one accord based on what? So-called race that they're from. That's how it is. But us, because we've been so disenfranchised as a so-called race, as a nation of people, because our heritage are being stripped from us. We have no idea. We have no idea of to see ourselves on that level. We destroy for that. That's why ever since we came to this truth, that's why one of the main emphasis we put when we go to the street to the street teaching. One of the first questions we ask the people, what do we ask them? What's your nationality? What's your nationality? That's why we know we got the truth. We're trying to reinstill that into you. Your true heritage, your nationality. And it's not based on where you were born. It's based on where you came from. It's for your bloodline, your lineage. Understand? That's how we're always catching up, because we got scattered to the four corners of the earth. Understand? And we call ourselves by the nationality of the different nations where we were born, which is wrong. That's a problem with us. That's wrong. We are probably the only ones who think that way. Understand? With exception, you may have some of them, because it's in the best interest economically. They may, But for the most part, all so-called races all over the world, they identify themselves with where they're from, their heritage, their nationality. We're the only ones who want to integrate. They want to integrate. We got caught up in a so-called melting pot. Ain't no such thing as that melting pot. We're the only ones that melted. All those other nations, even the so-called white man, Edomites, they even identify themselves as what? Italian Americans, German Americans, English. You know what I'm saying? They're Irish American. They don't even call themselves American per se, because America is like a conglomerate of different so-called ethnic groups. So they say now. So to which one do you belong to? So they trace it back to where they came from. But we don't even know where we came from. So that's why when we go there and teach, we instill on people, you Israelites, this is where you came from. This is your nationality. Understand? So all these names that they call you by, give it a Isaiah 65:15, and Jeremiah 17:4. Yeah, Jeremiah 17:4 first, and then 65:15. Isaiah 65:15.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
Right, that's what happened to our people. We got discontinued from our heritage, man. What's our heritage? Your true nationality, man. Your bloodline, your lineage, your ethnic groups, your language, your culture, who you were. We got discontinued from it. We got cut off from it. Alienated from it. Now, instead of knowing that we are Hebrew Israelites, we call ourselves by different names. African Americans, West Indian, Haitian, Puerto Ricans. Those names that were made up. Blacks, colored. We even call ourselves by a religion, Rastafarian, Catholic. But, you know what I'm saying? That's us being discontinued from our heritage. Read. There's more.
And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Mm-hmm.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
That's what we do. We are serving our enemies. Serving our enemies. Y'all. How bad is that? To be serving your enemies. They're your enemies and you're serving them. If they're your enemy, shouldn't you be fighting against them? You should be resisting them. But instead, you are serving them. You're proud to be a part of it. You're proud to associate yourself with them because you think, because you not knowing who you are, You think that by associating yourself with them, you may get some strength, or you may profit from their so-called prosperity and their success, because you're being so weakened. You can't stand on your own, so you stand with who you perceive to be in power and strength. Get me Isaiah 65:15.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, and verse 15. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen.
That's what happened. They left the name for a curse to the Most High's chosen. Who's the Most High's chosen? We are the Most High's chosen. We all know that Isaiah 44:1 are the scriptures. They left the name for also all these names to go by. All those names, we shouldn't be proud of those names. That's why as Hebrew Israelites, when it came to this truth, what do? We give ourselves Hebrew names. And to what? To disassociate ourselves from the ways of this world. We're not trying to conform to the ways of this world once you come into knowledge of self, or to say. Because those names that they gave us were given to us what? As a curse to us. Those names were cursed to us. Read.
For the Most High power shall slay thee.
But the Most High shall slay them, though. Once they're going to slay them. So once you come to this truth, know that what? Even though they are ruling right now, that rulership that they have ain't going to be forever. If you reflect back in the past, all those kingdoms that seem to be on top and that's such a strong hold over us and over other nations, in due time, what happened? They got disintegrated. They were brought down. Not by us necessarily, but what? By the Most High. And the same thing is going to happen to this kingdom right here in America. The Most High shall slay them. Read it again, huh?
For the Most High power shall slay thee.
Shall slay them. Read on.
And call his servants by another name.
And call his servants. What is most of the servants? Us. By another name. What other name? Hebrew Israelites. We got discontinued from our heritage. And we were given names which were cursed to us. But the Most High shall slay those slave masters who gave us those names. And they called us his servants by what? Another name. What other name? Hebrew Israelites. Our true name, our true nationality, our true heritage, which we got discontinued from. But we're going to get reintroduced back to it in due time when the Most High deems fit. That's what the Most High is talking about right there. Is there more than that?
Wow.
I'll go back to Samuel. Wrap it up in Samuel.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 30 and verse 20. And David took all the flocks and the herds which they drave before those other cattle, and said, this is David's spoil. Mm-hmm. And David came to the 200 men, which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook Besor. And they went forth to beat David, and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered all of the wicked men and men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them aught of the spoil that we have recovered, save to every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. Then said David, ye shall not do so, my brethren, with that which the Most High hath given us, who hath preserved us, and delivered the company that came against us into our hands. For who will hearken unto you in this matter? But as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarrieth by the stuff. They shall part alike. And it shall so from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel to this day.
Right, so David and his men went on the raid, and they recovered everything that the Amalekites had stolen, took from them. But David had 600 men with him. 400 went with him on the raid. 200 were left behind. So when he came back, the 400 men said, you know what, we can't share this spot equally. You know what I'm saying? All the men will stay behind, they ain't gonna get nothing. I let get that, you know what I mean? But they say, it ain't gonna be like that. We're gonna share the spot equally with all men, the ones who went and the ones who stay behind, because we are our family. Understand? Read on.
Verse 26. And when David came to Ziklag, he sent of the spoil unto the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, Behold, a present for you of the spoil of the enemies of the Most High.
Yeah, David even shared with the elders who didn't go anywhere. Read on.
Verse 27. To them which were in Bethel, and to them which were in South Ramah, and to them which were in Jatir, and to them which were in Aor, and to them which were in Sifmoth, and to them which were in Estemoa, and to them which were in Rakal, and to them which were in the cities of the Jerahmeelites, and to them which were in the cities of the Kenites, and to them which in Hormah, and to them which were in Korashan, and to them which were in Athak, and to them which were in Hebron, and to all the places where David himself and his men were wont to hop.
See that? David wasn't a fool, he was a wise man. He wasn't selfish, he shared the wealth. He shared the wealth with those who didn't go to war, who didn't go on the expedition to recover what the Amalekites had stolen. Plus, he shared the wealth with the elders throughout all the places that David was familiar with. I'm saying several countries. So I mean, it wasn't about himself. It was about the people. Because he knew the end. The Most High wasn't him. He was going to be king. Plus, he needed allies. That was wisdom right there that he was using. Read on.
1 Samuel chapter 31 and verse 1. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Melchishua, Saul's son. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. Then said Saul unto his armor-bearer, Draw thy sword, and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through, and abuse me. But his armor-bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And when his armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword, and died with him. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and his armor-bearer, and all his men that same day together. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, and they that were on the other side Jordan, saw that the men of Israel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. And it came to pass on the morning, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor.
Right, so the war was heated. So Saul was wounded in the battle. He was a proud man. He didn't want to be known. He didn't want the Philistines to abuse his body. So So he killed him basically. Fell on the sword, and his armor bearer fell on the sword himself. So because it was a concern that the Philistines would abuse his body, but they eventually did anyway. Cut off his head and all that. His sons. Read on.
Verse 9. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor, and sent it to the land of the Philistines round about, to publish it in the house of their idols and among the people. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan.
Right, so they cut off his head, and stripped off his armor, and sent it into the land of Philistines around about, to make a boast here. You see the head of the king of Israel. We are the superpower in this land. Read on.
Verse 11. And when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bethshan, and came to Jabesh and burnt them there. And they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Jabesh and fasted 7 days.
Right. So, but the men of Israel didn't sit well with that. So they gathered themselves together and went to the Philistine and retrieved the bodies of Saul and brought it back to Israel and cremated the body. And they fasted 7 days. And so that concludes the first book of Samuel's. Okay, it's 10 o'clock right now, so basically I'm kind of on time. So to all the Israelites, everyone logging on a live stream, YouTube, by whatever means. Don't forget tomorrow, the Most High willing, at 11 o'clock we're going to have a Hebrew class. 12 noon we're going to have the continuation of the Sabbath service by Shomash Gawashai. We're going to conclude by saying, Madi Wapanya Yerushalayim, turn to face Jerusalem. I'm going to read Psalms 33. Now I'm going to read Hebrew, then you read the English.
Psalms 33.
Yeah. No, 133, I'm sorry. 133.
Oh, 133.
Madi Wapanya Yerushalayim. Psalm 133. Shayar, Hama Aiwa, Ladawa, Ana, Ma, Tawab, Wama, Na'ayam, Shabbat, Akyam, Gam, Yakar, Kashaman, Atawab, Al, Araash, Yarad, Al, Zakwan, Ma'aran, Shayarad, Al, Paya, Madawahyawa, Katal, Karamwan, Shayarad, Al, Araria, Kasayawan, Kaya, Sham, Kazawa, Yahawa, Abaraka, Kayawam, Iwalam, Asham, Amashiyah, Hawashah, the water, Aman.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 133. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, as the dew of this that descended upon the mountain of Zion. For there the Most High commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. By Hashem HaMashiach Yahawashai, the Wad of Yad, Aman.
Amen.
Gan. The water Yasharala for logging in. By Hashem HaMashiach Yahawashai. Most High willing, we convene again tomorrow for the continuation of the Shabbat sermon. By Hashem HaMashiach Yahawashai.
But he had slip on my, I was trying to think of the name. Yeah.